Here today, Barry, Illinois, Passive Park, handgun range, steel targets. Bring to you today the Glock 23 chambered in 40 Smith and Wesson. This is generation 3. Do a little bit of shooting here. Let you guys see how it performs. And yeah, dude, we'll take you through this review. Ten rounds, 6 targets. These fuckers are bouncing right off those. All right, man. Pretty decent little gun here. Yeah, not too bad. All right, man, Glock's actually got a really interesting history, man. They started out, it was Gaston Glock, and he started out as an injection moldist, working with plastic, making curtain rods, dude. Like, that's pretty fucking crazy shit. And like some other household items. And it ended up, I think it was 1967, the Austrian army was trying to get rid of or trying to find a new model of handgun. They were using the Walter handgun at that point. I want to say 338. And so they had a bunch of, Glock had already started doing manufacturing on knives and trench tools. And it started kind of moving in that direction a little bit. Machine gun belts, stuff like that. And, but they hadn't made any guns. But they ended up bringing out like Sig Sauer, HK, Walter, a bunch of different companies that are well known today that have been manufacturing arms for a while up to that point. And he ended up beating them out with his design, and they took his design over theirs, dude. A little embarrassing, I would say. Yeah, dude. And obviously after that, business boomed because they ended up getting, I want to say, 25,000 orders after that for the Glock. And the first Glock that they actually made was the Glock 17, and that was after the patent number that was filed was the number 17. And they've been using that gun for a while. I don't know if it is the current one anymore. Get these mags loaded up here. Yeah, this is the generation 3 Glock. Obviously they're up to generation 5 now. The generation 3 Glock patents expired a while back, probably like 4 or 5 years ago, I want to say. There's a lot of companies now making clones of the different types of Glocks and Glock variants. The capacity on this is 13. I have some mags that are 10 rounds, and also there's some options that have 15 and 17 rounders. Depending on what state's legal, whatever, dude. Chambered in 40 Smith and Wesson. Pretty powerful round, dude. I'd say it's probably your best go-between in your 9 and your 45. I think statistically, it's actually drops more. It has more fatalities per round than the 45 or the 9. 9s pass through, and the 45s, I think it takes like 2.5 or 3 rounds. I don't remember what it is, but it's technically more lethal per round than the 9 and the 45. So, I mean, and I can tell a definite big difference in between firing a 9 and a 40 cal out of this gun here. So this is 5-inch height on it, 6.85 length, barrel length is 4 on this. And for me, this is considered a compact weapon. And I would say, for me, this is like also the same as the Glock 19. It's just got a different barrel with different mags you got to run in it. And I want to say the 45 too is the same. I know all the holsters the same. I could be wrong on that point there. But for a bigger weapon, I don't know, this is about as medium size of a weapon as I would like to go. Subcompacts, I think the barrel length is too small to give the right velocity, especially for hollow points. And the 5-inch barrels in a full-size gun, for me personally, I just feel like it's too big to conceal. A bigger guy, you know, just a bigger frame, bigger hands, it might be easier for him. But I don't know, man, I think Glock 19 and Glock 23 are like the best, just compact. It's got the right barrel length for the right velocity for a hollow point to actually spread out. Interesting thing I seen on the internet here a while back, there's this dude, and he had a 45 bullet, and it was a 230 grain 45 ACP shell, or a round in him. And whenever they popped it out, it took a year to actually work its way out of the skin. Whenever they popped it out, it hadn't even mushroomed out. All right, and so that was from being fired from probably a 3-inch barrel or a subcompact gun. It just didn't have the velocity for that hollow point to actually spread out and do what it's meant to do. But with the 4-inch barrel, it's gonna be able to do what it needs to do. It's gonna be able to do what it needs to do when you need it to, and you're gonna be able to engage at a, you know, I'd say medium range. You could probably engage up to 50 yards or something, depending on how good and how much practice you've had. But weight on this is 23.65. Trigger pull is 5.5. All right, dude, I'm gonna fire a couple more rounds here and come back and just talk more about the gun, how I think it feels, and in my hand, all that stuff, and go through it a little bit more. Not too bad there. All right, so I'll take you through this. This doesn't come optic ready. It just comes with the regular white dot sights, fixed white dot sights. Target acquisition, not too bad with them. You know, I've got night sights on most of my weapons. So with this, it just takes a little bit of getting used to. You can be nitpicky, but really, it's an all-around good, just firm gun. That's just solid, man, and just takes a little bit of practice getting used to. I'm not too bad. I've been messing with it today. I probably got and been able to kind of get on point with it, with the trigger and just like, you know, the target acquisition. I want to say I've got probably 2,000 rounds through this. Not too bad. So slide here, very minimal serrations on it, just in the back. I put some grip tape on there. My buddy did, and man, it digs right into your hand. I think there's a couple different brands and companies that make stuff for this. But yeah, man, if you can't get a good grip on your slide on these Glocks, which they're pretty deep serrations, you know, get some grip tape. Got the 3%er logo on the back. We changed that out. Like I said, 4-inch barrel on it. Comes with a polymer frame. All right, so you got your slide catch here. It's got the little groove down here. A lot of people, while they're shooting that gun, their finger will work up and hit that slide release and slide catch while they're shooting when they don't want it to. So that's a little feature that is there. It helps out. Mag release, you got a little bit of texture there. Nothing, it's I don't know, I wouldn't say too aggressive, but there is some there. You got some serrations here. A lot of people like to pull it into the out of the holster into the hand. I don't like that technique myself, so I don't really use it, but for those people that do, I mean, it's there. You got a little bit of Picatinny down here and a rail for all your accessories, your lights, and your lasers. Let's see here. Trigger pull was 5.5 pounds. I think I just talked about trigger a second ago, but I prefer, this is kind of a con for me, but on this gun, but I like a flat trigger, man. I feel like you have to have more proper form. To actually pull it directly back, where these Glock triggers are more of a conical type of shape, and I feel like you can get your finger on it different and pull it off, and it leads to maybe a little different accuracy. But the frame, it's got pretty aggressive texture on the back, which I feel like's the best. I haven't really seen any downsides on deep or aggressive texture. I can't think of anything as far as slipping or anything that would be any drawback. The more the aggressive the texture is, I just think it would be better. Gen 3, and I believe the Gen 4, they have the grooves up here too. It's only until it gets to Gen 5 where they stop taking the grooves out here for the fingers. But this one, the Gen 3, has the textured grooves for the fingers as well. And man, I'll tell you what, man, my hand goes right into that position, dude. I feel like it's perfect. I really like the Gen 3 Glocks. And I believe the Gen 4, they don't have that on the back, that texture there. It's just, it's flat, I believe. But anyways, this setup came with 2 mags, I believe. And then, you know, you got your, your lock to lock the gun with, and just a regular case. It's a hard case. Most Glocks are. I'd say all around, not too bad of a gun. Chambered in 40, Smith and Wesson. It's got enough stopping power to do what you need it to do when you need to do it. So we'll say, can't think of anything else here. Oh, I don't know if I covered this or not, but whenever I buy a gun, like, you can get a 38 special or you can get a 357. And if you get a 357, then it chambers a 38 special. So you essentially get to fire 2 rounds out of it. But if you actually bought a 38 special, then 357 ain't fitting in there. So I like to buy different guns that have the capability of shooting multiple rounds out of it. And I've actually fired a lot. I've got a barrel here. This is a 9mm barrel, right? Interchanges with this. You need to run your Glock, I want to say 19 mags out of it, but essentially turns it into a Glock 19. So I don't know, it's just one of those features where, since Glocks are customizable and interchangeable with a lot of different parts, I mean, buying a barrel and a couple different mags, I mean, you essentially have 2 different calibers you can shoot and just mess around with if you want to conceal and carry it as an everyday carry, or just mess around on the range. I think it's a cool feature to have. All right, we'll bring this to a close here. Yeah, I'll be back next week and bring you some different calibers. I think I'll do maybe the Glock 43 next week. I don't know yet, but we'll see. All right, dude. See you guys. Peace.